Hi third years, it's Miss Canny here for a couple of weeks while Mr. Fitzpatrick is away. So just want to set you up with a little bit of homework to get you started. This is chapter 18 that we're going to have a look at. In your textbook, it's trigonometry. And we're just going to start with something that I know you've been doing some work on already, and that is Pythagoras' theorem. So let's remind ourselves of what Pythagoras' theorem is. Pythagoras' theorem states that if you have a right angle triangle, so this is a right angle triangle because it has this little square in there and that's 90 degrees. If you have a right angle triangle, well then the square of the hypotenuse, which is the side that's opposite, so this side here is the hypotenuse, the square of the hypotenuse is equal to the sum of the squares of the other two sides, so this side and this side. So basically it says if we know what c is, well c squared is equal to b squared plus a squared, or c squared is equal to a squared plus b squared. Okay, so let's say we have a triangle like so, and this is a right angle, and say we are given that this side here is equal to 3 and this side here is equal to 4. We can use this to find out what this hypotenuse, this other side here, is equal to. So let's have a look at how we do that. The hypotenuse is equal to c in our formula, and 3 and 4 are the other two sides. So we say that c squared is equal to 3 squared plus 4 squared. So c squared is equal to 9 plus 16. So c squared is equal to 25. So we almost have what c is, but we need c when it's not squared. So to remove the square there, we get the square root of both. That cancels out that squared. So we have c on its own, and the square root of 25 is 5. So we have figured out now that the hypotenuse, the side we were looking for, c, is equal to 5. So that's a quick recap on how to use Pythagoras' theorem. I'm going to give you a couple of questions that I want submitted this week. So we'll move on. This is activity 18.1 in your textbook. I actually don't have the page here, but it's 18.1 in the textbook. And it's just a little bit of practice on using Pythagoras' theorem. So the key thing when you're using Pythagoras' theorem is to identify the hypotenuse. Remember that your theorem said c squared is equal to a squared plus b squared, and c is the hypotenuse. So c is the length that's opposite the right angle. So this is your hypotenuse. This is your hypotenuse. So you need to substitute your hypotenuse into the correct place. I'm going to rub out some because I can't see what it says there anymore. Okay, so let's have a look at that one there. So in this instance, you're asked to find x. It's the hypotenuse, so we know that that means that x squared is equal to 40 squared plus 42 squared. Okay, so you put those values into the calculator. So if you put 40 squared plus 42 squared into your calculator, you get 3364. And then x squared is equal to 3364. So to find out what x is, you get the square root of 3364, which is 58. So that tells me that this side here is equal to 58. I'm going to do one more example, and this time I want to take an example where we are given the hypotenuse. So we just have to think about our formula a little bit differently. So here, again, our hypotenuse is c squared is equal to a squared plus b squared. But in this example, the hypotenuse is 13. So we have 13 squared is equal to 12 squared plus x squared. So what we want to do is get x squared on its own. So to do that, I'm going to say 13 squared, subtract 12 squared from here means I'm going to subtract 12 squared from here. So that's going to cancel out, and this is going to give me x squared. So I'm going to continue up here. Now, if you want, you can flip this over. We're used to always having our x's on the left-hand side. So if you want to change that around, that's fine. And you can say x squared is equal to 13 squared, which is 169, minus 144, which is 12 squared. So I'm going to put that into my calculator. 169 minus 144 is 25. So therefore, x is equal to 5. So just be careful when you are given the hypotenuse with how you set up your example. So hopefully that's helpful, guys. I want you for homework to do question 1, part 1, part 3, part 4, and part 5. Okay, thanks guys. We have a live class on Thursday, so hopefully see you then.